I'll send it to me.
You are the
All right.
last one.
You were the. That's true. You were the, on this one. Yeah.
So I was trying to keep it.
Oh.
Oh no!
Oh. See,
Oh,
that's the problem I have.
Gimbal fell.
Gimbal
Always an
tipped
issue.
over. Gimbal tipped.
Oh, it should come back.
So for my audience, we're going to discuss yesterday's Patriot events in Oregon. There was an event in Salem, and there was a rally vehicle parade out of Oregon City that traveled down I-5.
Balance it out.
Black conservative
right.
street preacher, black conservative preacher here on Facebook Live. We got CSC Media, Rob here. He's on YouTube.
YouTube, Facebook.
And so we're all
Everywhere.
We're all
three streams
streaming.
at the same time. So
A lot to talk about.
why don't you open us up,
You want me to open up?
you preacher?
It's your idea.
Well, partly
This is your meeting.
you actually brought the stuff up yesterday on your way home on your own live stream.
I did.
You
I
did. And you need to balance that out before we keep having problems.
I think it's just
No.
dead.
Dead?
Yep. I think I gotta plug it in.
Take it out of the gimbal and put it in that right there.
Yeah.
Oh, the phone is dead too?
How?
Or just the
No.
That's a phone clamp right there.
Yeah.
Oh, genius.
So
Kids these days.
while
CSC
whi-
Media is having technical difficulties.
yeah, while the rookies having difficult difficult
Technical difficulties?
yes.
Technical.
I'm saying it backwards. So anyway, yeah, he's having problems over here. So am I, obviously,
Yeah.
speaking tonight. There was a lot of things that took place yesterday. I know earlier today I did a live addressing a few things. I even said, hey, Villain on Villain Report Facebook, he dropped a couple of hints. Robert dealt with some stuff. I experienced things regarding some of the Patriots and some of the actions that took place at the Capitol, and went out to eat with a couple of people yesterday after the events at the Capitol, and they brought up the same issues. And I know on the stream earlier today when I was talking to some of you guys on my page, a lot of you said that you saw at least one of the incidents that I spoke about regarding a man who showed up at the Trump rally in Oregon City, and he had a canoe or a kayak out the back of his truck, and a woman was on the bullhorn speaking to him and accusing him of being Antifa, basically telling him to leave. And that's just one of several issues that I know Robert and I saw throughout the day between Oregon City and Salem. And so that's a lot of the things we're going to be speaking about, plus on top of the, I'd say, organization or organizing or disorganization of some of the rallies or patriots and some of the behavior that people are doing, which looks like tactics of the left that we keep complaining about, but yet a lot of patriots are doing the same exact type of things that we keep complaining about. So
to bring that together, we have basically 2 points we're talking about this evening. One, as the patriots, the conservative, the religious side, the pro-America side of the country right now are starting to gather and actually come out to events, we're starting to see some behavior on that side of things that's worrying us, because frankly, there's more and more behavior that looks very like the anarchists, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, the rioters. They're antagonizing people. They're attacking people unnecessarily. They're running people out of the events who are peaceful and aren't causing problems yet. And we're doing, the conservative side is doing a lot of things that we are criticizing the other side for doing.
Yep.
We've been watching the rioters do all these horrible behaviors for several months. And now that the conservative side is actually starting to come out and meet in groups and gather in numbers, they're starting to do the same things. They're accosting people. They're attacking people. They're judging people before they've even spoken. And that's starting to bother us, and it's worrying us, because we are seeking peace. We're seeking stability in America. We're seeking the American dream for the populace. We're seeking to save civilization. What we are not doing is just to change who gets to be the bullies or change who gets to be in power. I criticized a lot of people in the riot side many times for claiming to be virtuous, but I think that they actually just they weren't really upset that an officer had the knee on George Floyd's neck. They just wanted to be the person that puts their knee on other people's necks. They wanted to be the tyrant.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to be the one in control and powerful. And we're seeing that at some of the Patriot rallies. And don't get me wrong, don't get us wrong. We're not saying that the whole group is like that, but we are seeing some behavior continually, and it's not getting shut down. Second point that we want to discuss is very, very, very taboo and controversial. The role of men and women in society.
Yes.
So almost all of the conservative events are being led, organized, and put together by women. No men are stepping up to do this kind of thing. That is what it is. Why aren't the men doing this? Another thing is we're seeing, I wasn't there yesterday, I've seen video and I've heard accounts, we're seeing women instigate situations that men have to take care of in those situations. So yesterday at Salem, from the video I've seen and from reports I've heard, a lot of women were calling for attacks on the other side, the Antifa side, the protester side, and the men just went along with it and started attacking people unnecessarily. There's several videos that you can see online. Many pro-America people and anti-rioter people are calling out what happened yesterday as nonsense and unnecessary. And so we're going to talk on those two contentious issues. One, the behavior of the Patriots. Are they morally just in seeking goodness versus the other side is immoral? Or are they just another faction seeking power? Who is that side going to be? Two, where are the men, and why are the women stirring up problems for the men?
And leading the men. Why are the women even leading the men, especially into, at times, that could be potential of war or harm or physical danger? Why are women in the Patriots, why are they front line doing the same type of tactics as Antifa women? And yet, when Antifa women do it, we're saying that they're feminists and this and that. Well, understand, there can also be feminists in the Patriot movement. It's no different when you have women up in the front line, barking, yelling, spitting, doing the same exact thing that the liberals and the Democrats and the left are doing to the Patriots and to the conservatives. It's no different. Just because you're a Patriot does not mean, oh, you're not a feminist or this and that. So it's the same type of tactics that's taking place. So like Dylan's saying, basically, where are the men in regards to that? Yesterday, when I arrived down there in Salem, within 5 minutes, I hear a lady basically saying, let's chase him out. And Robert, you were there, you basically right next to me. And you understand there was 15 Antifa maybe, and they weren't the Antifa that's here in Portland, like I said earlier on the stream. They weren't the threat. They're maybe rookies, beginners, who knows? But they were not the anarchists that we see down in Portland probably right now. It wasn't the same people. So charge, chase them out, which I understand because we've been dealing with this stuff for 100+ days. People want to see something done. You know, there's been a couple rallies or whatever that, it looked like Antifa won because Patriots retreated, X, Y, Z. And so, it felt nice. It looked nice to see some Antifa leave. But they weren't the Antifa that we are used to seeing on the TV or on the news. So with that said, here goes the charge to chase the people out, the Antifa. Okay, so they're already running. They're running away. So as a Patriot, what was the point of pushing or hitting a few of them, knocking them down to the ground? What was the point of that? And then we start bashing their head into the concrete. I mean, I know, Robert, you've talked about this before many times.
So, yeah, my big thing, like they gave their intros, I'll give mine really quick, is my big thing is that first and foremost, like I have rules when it comes to people who film for CSC Media Group and the Common Sense Conservative, and the main rule is that we're journalists first and foremost. However, in recent events, recent days, things have changed. Things have happened. Not really changed. It's still a rule, but things have happened, and literally the last two events, I have felt the need to step out of my journalist role and step between people who are, in my opinion, who act badly. One example is, and primarily it's a couple people show up, and then there's a big mob. All of a sudden, the Patriots outnumber the couple people that show up, and then the Patriots feel emboldened. They feel powerful, and so they go after the, one or two or 10 as it was yesterday in Salem, and then they're like, yeah, we're out. We have the numbers. We can teach them a lesson. We can show them exactly, how we've been treated this whole time. And I get it. Like yesterday during my live stream, I sat there quietly and I filmed the charge and everything. And then after the charge, I couldn't stop, myself from talking about it and how I was really disappointed in how it went. I mean, we had a very good opportunity to show CNN that we were better. That we had CNN was there. If you guys Google it, it's all over the internet right now. How violent right wingers beat up Black Lives Matter supporters. And though they couldn't have those headlines if we would have showed a little bit of ethics and morality and that we were better than them. And when I say we, I mean, I'm a conservative. I don't know if you could tell by my handle, the Common Sense Conservative. So, I mean, I am a right winger. I have a vested interest in this. And I do believe that it is important for my side to win and to show that we're better and to win those people that are in the middle who aren't Antifa, who aren't Democrats, who are independents, who really have no idea where they go, where to go and who to vote for. And so, like I was saying a minute ago, there's been two instances in the last two events that have happened locally that I've gone to where I had to step out of my journalist role, where I've had to step out of my press role because nobody else was. Nobody else was going to. People were going to sit there and watch in Gresham, where a guy was probably going to get beat up pretty bad just for, he went down there and he made a bad joke and he apologized for it to everybody. Not everybody knew that he apologized, but I mean, he was probably going to get beat up. And another filmer who films for us, he stepped between them, had the Antifa guy who, he admitted he was Antifa, stepped behind him and he sat there and he started yelling at him. And then I walked over and I kind of joined and I was like, hey, calm down, guys. We got to be better in this. And then at Salem yesterday, same kind of thing happened. There was a guy who showed up. All he did was ask a question. He looked like Antifa. He was stereotypical. He had, he's wearing black. He didn't have a mask or anything on, but he had a couple piercings. So people just went, oh, you're Antifa. And so they started making all these assumptions. And then finally, they kind of calmed down and the guy was just like, hey, I just wanted to know this. I asked a question. You guys all jumped me, y'all came up on me like that. And then, so everybody kind of calmed down and relaxed a little bit. And then out of the blue, I don't want to get into the whole like gender roles thing of all this stuff. Like they can deal with that. I'm not going to get involved with that at all.
It's all right.
But they, to their point, all of a sudden this woman comes up and she gets in the guy's face. And again, people are dispersing, people are walking away, and this woman comes up and she gets in his face and she starts making all these assumptions, and it just gets amped up. It's getting amped up. More people are kind of coming back over again, and you can feel that tension rising, and nobody's saying anything. Nobody's telling her, no, the guy already did anything. Like, nobody's doing a thing. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, like this, enough's enough. Like this guy's gonna get beat up. He's tiny. He probably weighed $120, and he was literally just wanting to figure out what was happening. He had no idea what was happening, and so I got in the middle. I stepped in the middle, and I was like, whoa! You're making a lot of assumptions about this guy. You might want to go fix your camera, sir. But you're making a bunch of assumptions about this guy, and she came back at me, and we kind of went back and forth a little bit, and she starts, calling me names and saying I was fake press and whatever because I was talking, and I don't want to. I don't want to interject myself in any of this stuff. That's not my job. My job is to come out and show you guys the truth and show you guys what really happens. You know, I filmed the fight and everything, and people were accusing me of being like CNN, and I'm like, no, this is the truth. This is what happened. So I'm the opposite of CNN. I have some integrity, and the reason why I'm here today is because I am asking other patriots out there to make it so I don't have to do this. So I don't feel like I have to do this. I need patriots and Republicans and conservatives to start acting like we talk and like our belief system. If somebody's standing there and they're watching and they're not doing anything, don't touch them.
Yep.
They're there. You guys, we complain about we can't go on a sidewalk and wave a flag because we're going to get assaulted. So what we're going to do is go out and start assaulting people for doing the same thing? Like, is that really what we're at? Like, we're no better than they are? They're just standing there watching our event. I can't go in the city of Portland without getting assaulted if I'm filming. Like,
Right.
None of us can. All of us have been chased away by Antifa.
Yep.
All of us, everybody, every single person who films for the Common Sense Conservative and CSC Media Group has been assaulted by Antifa.
Yep.
Every one of us. So we know full well, we know better than pretty much probably most of the people watching this video and these streams what it's like to be assaulted and
Chased out
of town and not allowed places because of who we are, because of we go out and we film. And so all these people who watch it secondhand and they're getting pissed off and they're coming out to these events ready to rumble with Antifa, and yet we're the ones sitting here going, guys, we got to be better. I've been bloodied. They've come to my house. They've done all these things to me. They've threatened my family. They've done all these things, and I have never once laid hands on Antifa. Never once.
I haven't either.
Me neither.
And it's not because we don't want to. It's because so far it hasn't been warranted. I had a can thrown at my face. I've had all this stuff, but it hasn't come to that point yet because I have not felt the need to escalate that. Because I'm a big guy. Those of you can tell I'm a little bit bigger than these two guys. I'm a big guy. So I don't feel the need to elevate the level of force because so far I haven't been met with the amount of force for me to have to defend myself physically yet. I mean, I've had stuff thrown at me and there's not much I can do about that, right? So, but having people just standing there watching an event, sitting there so we can show, the conservatives can show how righteous we are, right? We talk about how we're righteous. So we can talk about
God-fearing and all that.
Right. We talk about free speech, right? Free
Yep.
speech. We believe in free speech, but all of a sudden, guess what happens? We're just like them, right? No. We have free speech. You don't have free speech. You can't come here and hang out with us.
But that's what happened to you yesterday. Speaking about free speech,
What?
because you said something to someone, right?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Oh, and then
Right.
and then somebody tried picking a fight with me yesterday because I called his woman, or I said that his woman was stupid, and he's a fan, and he's probably watching right now. Like we shook it out afterwards, but
You said she was acting stupid.
I said I said she's acting stupid, and then she went off and she started telling everybody how I all sorts of like just random weird off the wall stuff, and so she tried actually getting a whole bunch of people to come like evict me from the area. And I'm like, and then her boyfriend comes over and he's like, you called her stupid. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I said she was acting stupid.
Yeah.
And
she was actually in front of your face arguing you.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, okay. And you called her, or
I call it like it is.
called her
I'm a very
stupid, or
black
you're
and white
being
person.
stupid, however it may be.
Right.
And you're at a rally and things like that. So.
Right.
But it's true. I mean, and then you had the elderly man, another example. Yeah, he had a poster out there, or some sort of whatever he had on his poster. Obviously, he wasn't in favor of the Trumpsters or the Back the Blue, however you want to say it. He had something written on a piece of paper. Who cares, right? Who cares? Older man, by himself. Someone takes it out of his hands. Why? It's the same thing that Antifa and the left do to us. Let's burn the flag. Let's take their Trump flag. Let's take their Blue Lives Matter flag and burn it, or do this and attack him. And then the man gets naked. Okay, it's stupid.
Takes
It's
his clothes
perverted.
off.
Takes his clothes off. Okay, it's gross. I understand. I get it. Let him be. Why go around him? Just turn your back on him. It's pretty simple to do. Turn your back on him, but instead, he's minding his business, and someone goes over and maces him.
Yep.
And then a paintball. And you're talking about an elderly man. Like, for what? For what reason? Was he a threat? Was he Antifa? Was he throwing stuff? Was he hurting you like physically? Okay, he's being an idiot. He's stupid. Who cares? Because now you're looking just like the liberals who are always triggered over something.
Well, there's two things with that too. One, if nobody touches sign, odds are his clothes would have stayed on.
Good
Call
point.
it a hunch. Call it a hunch. But to make it worse, and I'm going to look at every camera right now, so you all pay attention. To make it worse, his tires were slashed.
I did not know that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks.
the tow truck
Appreciate
that
that.
showed up, his tires were slashed. Somebody slashed his tires.
It's not cool.
No.
You know, so nobody can sit there and tell me that we're not, that we, those people, the people who were there, were not acting like Antifa. Because 100% that's what they did. And
Oh, as far as the Patriots.
as far as the Patriots
Yeah,
side.
they were-
Yeah. Like, there's no moral high ground for yesterday whatsoever. And it sucks because it was a great opportunity. It was a great cruise in, man. The cruise,
Yep.
there was over 1,000 people. It was amazing and epic. And then it just,
Right.
it just went to crap.
Devolved.
But I will make one point. People are complaining about, they're blaming the Proud Boys for all the stuff that happened yesterday. Nope,
It wasn't.
it wasn't.
No,
It was not.
it was not the Proud Boys.
I can't see my comments right now.
I can't either.
And those of you that have already logged out and won't hear this, but I want to clarify. I am not talking about gender roles here. I am talking about
I'll talk about gender roles.
one thing is, why aren't men stepping up to organize things? I have no problem. I'm very thankful for people like Audra and other women
Yep.
that are putting these events together and getting people to come together and creating these. I am not saying that women are inferior or anything like that. What one question is why aren't any men doing this? There's very few of them. I know a few, but it's mostly all the. Yesterday, the event in Salem was put together by women, Oregon Women for Trump, I believe. But it's a pattern where there's no men stepping up to put these things together. Very few of them. And so that's just something I'm curious about. Another thing is there are a lot of female agitators at these events that are provoking situations that men have to take care of.
Yep.
The men are the ones that are going to be fighting in that. And I'm not talking about gender roles. I'm just talking about an issue that's happening right now. Why are there women here provoking fights that men have to fight? And why are there so few men standing up to organize these things? Where are you dudes at?
And why aren't there some of the men telling them to stop?
Just stop.
Shut it down. if we're not allowed to say these things in society. If a woman's acting crazy, tell her to shut up. Seriously, I don't care. Come for me. Come for me. If it was a guy that was acting crazy, we'd tell him to shut up just as much. We would tell a guy just as much. If we believe in equality of the sexes, why aren't we telling these crazy women that are going off the hook to shut up?
And the
Calm
dudes.
down. Get it together. Because we do tell the dudes that.
Yeah.
When dudes are going off, guys tell them like, hey bro, you're being nuts.
And if you're out there, you're out there, right?
Yes.
So you're part of it, so why not?
And then the other issue is something I've been very growingly concerned about. The left side of the spectrum calls anybody an inch right of center a fascist and a Nazi. And I know those people, and I know that they're not that. I know that there are exceptions. There are crazy people. They're usually in prison or in a movie. But when the conservative side starts doing the things that we're seeing in those riots, these people already demonize us. You're just giving them fuel to keep their delusions going in their head that we're all Nazis and that we hate people and that we're racist and all that. So there needs to be a higher standard. If you're coming out to these events to stand up for what you believe in and what you value, great, thank you. But know that we're coming out to stand against the rioting and the destruction of our society, so there's a higher standard for that side of things. If you're coming out to say stop the rioting, and you act like the rioters, there's no point in you coming out. Just go home, sit in your shed, watch your TV, do whatever you
Watch
do. Go
us,
fishing,
whatever
go
you-
hiking. I don't care what your hobbies are. Just don't come out to these events. If you're going to come out and act like the rioters, there's no point for you to come.
And with that, that's a very good point, because see, what's happening is that you guys are doing it during the day, so it's the wrong people. why don't you guys doing it at night? The riots are happening at night. If you want to, it's kind of like one of these things. You're coming out during the day thinking you're getting some sort of victory, but the actual thugs and the rioters and the anarchists are out at night, but no one yet has stepped up to do that. You want to do all these daytime activities, when it's like the rookie Antifas, the rookie Black Bloc, and just basically kids, but you don't want to go deal with the big boys at night. Okay, so there has to be a time and a place for if you want to do your violence, and it sure wasn't yesterday in Salem or at some other events. They're down there right now. It's 10:30 at night. They're warming up in front of a police station. Where are you tough boys at? Where are you guys at?
Yeah, if you want to go stand up and make a stand and stop people from committing crimes and hurting people, you need to go find the people that are doing those crimes
Right.
and conduct your citizens' arrest. Do them proper and do them morally. If you want to stand up against these people that are hurting people, do it. Great.
Yep.
But don't use that that energy and misguide it to some teenager that's standing out on the side of the road by themselves in the middle of the day at a protest that's not doing anything to harm anybody. It was upsetting to see that happen yesterday.
It was.
Well, and the biggest thing too is, you know, a lot of people, like, there's a lot of comments. You're good with that again. There's a lot of comments that, you know, from people saying that they want, you know, that they want to ramp it up. They want to amp it up. I get comments on all of my videos
I get it.
where there's people wanting to more violence. They want to get even. They want to do all this stuff and teach Antifa a lesson and all this stuff.
They're doing good.
But the thing is, though, is that if you want to teach them a lesson, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it.
Yep.
Self-defense is the right way. Don't start it, just finish it. It's something that I've been saying a lot lately. And, you know, it's just, you know, be better. I left, 2 years ago, I left all the Patriot groups, all affiliation with all Patriot groups, because I saw them go down a spiral. They were spiraling into some really aggressive behavior. And I get it. Like, when I'll be honest, you know, like it felt good, you know, watching some black clad little ninjas, you know, get beat up. But at the same time, you still, you know, it really upset me a lot, because I'm sitting there going, okay, you know, worse than them at this point. Good job. And, you know, and CNN was there, all the media was there. You look at all the headlines and everything, and people say optics don't matter. What really matters is what really happens. And, you know, that's some very short-sighted people that say optics don't matter. It's this, no war was won in a day. There's the information war, the propaganda war, all that stuff matters. And the coolest thing about it, and the coolest thing that I try to maintain with this company, this media company, is that the integrity of what matters. Because guess what, guys? We don't have to make anything up. We don't have to lie. We can sit there and just show what's happening. And 9 times out of 10, we can just sit there and show, okay, Patriots here, Antifa's doing violence, boom, okay, cool. Now the Patriots went and charged them and they beat up the people who were throwing stuff at them. Good job, guys. It's called self-defense.
Yep.
And, you know, the greatest thing about it is Nate from Stumptown Matters, he went out and he filmed the last cruise that happened a week ago, the day that Jay got shot. And his footage is blowing up right now. It's going viral right now, because CNN and NBC and all these guys put out these little clips, right, of all these patriots roughing up these people and roughing up Antifa and shooting paintballs for no reason. Well, Nate's footage, it shows what actually happened 30 seconds to a minute before the clips arrived. So we didn't have to lie. We don't have to make propaganda. We can just show the truth and the reality and the facts of what happens. Mm-hmm. And you know, so I mean, his footage showed that yes, Patriots got attacked. Trucks were getting attacked. People were getting assaulted. Things were getting stolen before the Patriots reacted. And that was a proud day. That's a great day to be an American. A great day to be a Patriot at that point in time. Yesterday, not a proud day to be a Patriot. Not a proud day to be an American, because guess what? We turned into them. And yeah, you bet they shot paintballs. That's 100% true. Yeah. Antifa shot paintballs, but they didn't shoot a single paintball until the Patriot crowd announced and then charged. They announced they were going to charge and then charged.
And that's what goes back to what was wrong with just charging them. Okay, you ran after them. They were already running. So what was the point of physically then attacking if they're already running away? and it was only 15 of them. I mean, so what point did you prove? And like Robert said, when they attack first, that's one thing to defend yourself. So if you want to go defend yourself, go down there tonight, stand there, and let's see if they attack you. I guarantee you they will. Then defend yourself. How many of you will go down there tonight, or tomorrow night, or the next night? And even with that said, the whole Proud Boys thing that's coming up at the end of the month, I think it's stupid. For what? Why are you going to do it? Because you're going to come in one day, get your little fame, and then you're going to be out. I'm going to call it how it is, and that's what's going to happen. I like some of the Proud Boys. Don't get me wrong. I like some of the Proud Boys. But then why do that? Go down there at nighttime when the real agitators are there, the real aggressors, the ones who really want to do violence. Go down there at night when they're attacking the police officers and people that you care for. That's when you go down there if you're looking for that fight that you guys want. It's going to be real.
Just it's disappointing. You guys know my story. Well, some of you do. I just started filming a couple months ago out of curiosity and then out of dismay by what my eyes were seeing, and just horror at the violence and the unnecessary harm to innocent individuals, and the death of young people right before my eyes. And I've just been wanting people to come together and stand up against this, and every time I see an event, I'm kind of a little bit discouraged because I see the same thing. I see the conservative side putting bullhorns in people's faces, chanting obnoxious chants in people's faces to try to agitate them, intimidating people, kicking people of the opposition out when they're not doing anything unpeaceful. And it just, we've seen for more than 100 days the negative side of the left ideology in the world. Don't be fooled by the constant slander and accusation and calling people Nazis and calling people fascist, and that those things don't actually exist. There is a bad side of the right, and if you're naturally conservative and naturally led to believe things that are on the right side of the spectrum, don't be fooled that you can't be provoked or pushed to the bad side of that. Yep. You can read things like the book Ordinary Men that talked about the police officers in Nazi Germany that slowly, inch by inch by inch, became horrible people that committed atrocities to where they were actually very, very horrible things, taking pregnant women out into fields and shooting them. And before all that happened, they were your average guy, your average person that just loved their community, and through the indoctrination and through the anger and the turmoil of the world at that time, and through their propaganda, they became further and further towards the dangerous side of the right. There's a dangerous side of the left and a dangerous side of the right. Check yourself and make sure you're not going out and beating teenagers up at an event that aren't doing anything, or stealing people's free speech under the guise that you're standing up for free speech. I don't care what side you're on. I don't want to see innocent people get hurt. I don't want to see a lot of Antifa do horrible things, but there's some of them out there that are just out there dressed up in their costume and they're not actually hurting people. I don't want to see those people hurt. I don't want to see nonviolent Black Lives Matter people hurt. I don't want to see patriots hurt. I don't want to see conservatives hurt. I don't want to see humans hurt. I don't want to see humans hurting other humans unnecessarily. Yep. And if you're getting so worked up by what you've seen the last couple months, I understand.
Yeah, I get
Trust me, we know. We've had our butts kicked, and we've been hurt. We've been chased out, and
doxed, everything.
All of us have talked to. I haven't been doxed.
Well,
but we're holding. If anybody has a right to has a motivation to go out and get revenge, it's people like us that have had the attacks on us for doing things like filming or reporting, and we're not doing that. And what I've been pushing on my platform, I sent that meme out of Braveheart over and over again. Hold. Store up that righteous anger. I'm not a pacifist, and I don't want you guys to be pacifists. But don't become violent in revenge. hold that and store that and channel that energy. And if the time comes to where you need to defend yourself or defend those you love, you will have that store of righteous anger to let loose on people. But don't go looking for a fight just because you want to get that aggression out. Be disciplined. Control yourself. I think we're going to have some hard times ahead of us. But that doesn't mean that we need to go hurt innocent people right now. Control yourselves. Act according to the principles you're claiming to stand for. Stop attacking people. Stop acting like the rioters.
A lot of it's discernment too, knowing who is who. Because I mean, the more people who come into the Patriot movement or become patriots, can become conservatives, they go to rallies, and all they hear about is Antifa and people doxing or people taking pictures. You're still new to the game. Trust me. If it's your first or second time to a rally, you're pretty still new to the game of what's going to happen to you. You need to have some discernment and really understand who is who on that side of the fence. Because just because they're taking pictures, they could be a journalist. They could be a doxer, okay? But they're not the black bloc. They're not the by all means necessary who's going to go out and have spikes that are in their bats or have urine bottles or whatever. You got to learn the difference between who is who, and then once that happens to you, fine. Use that built-up aggression and do what you got to do to defend yourself.
And for me personally, like, you know, I do want to apologize because I have stepped out of my journalist role and my press role, but so that's why I sincerely ask every patriot out there to go to make it so I don't have to make it so, you know, we sit there all the time. We'll troll and we'll go. We'll be like, yeah, well, you know, if you're a peaceful protester, how come you're not going out and standing out against all the violent people? How come you're not, you know, if you're Black Lives Matter and you're 100% peaceful, how come you're not policing yourself? How come you're not dealing with Antifa, who's going out there and throwing things and assaulting people and all this stuff? If you want it to be peaceful and you're tired of the tear gas and the flashbangs and the rubber bullets and the pepper balls. I mean, I got shot with a pepper ball. I know what it's like. It sucks. It hurts.
I got shot with a 40mm rubber bullet. It hurts.
You know, so like, you know, so we tell the left to do the same thing, you know, but, you know, I see a lot of talk. I see a lot of talk coming from the right. I see a lot of keyboard warriors coming from the right. A lot of people talking crap. A lot of people, you know, talking big and tough and all that stuff. And then a lot of people talking righteousness. But there's been very few times where I've seen it. A lot of people know that I'm not a big fan of Joey Gibson, but I will say that Joey Gibson will sit there and tell people to be peaceful.
Yep.
He'll actually sit there and tell people to stop. And I'll give him, I mean, it's 100% honesty. He'll tell people to stop and to act right. And sometimes, yeah, you lose control of it and people start acting wrong. But there need to be more people out there going, hey, you know, you don't know this guy. He's standing by himself. There's 30 of you and one of him. How about we don't beat him up? How about we don't send him to the hospital? How about we don't kill the guy for just standing there? You know, we can sit there and tell him that we don't want him here and he can go off and he can, you know, run off or whatever. We could even go up to a cop who we're supposed to be supporting and go, hey, he's being an agitator. Can you remove him? And guess what the cops will usually do? They'll remove them for you.
Yep.
It's happened. Yep. I mean, you know, these guys are really new to it. Nate from Stumptown Matters, Demi, some of these other guys, we've been filming, we've been doing this stuff for years now. We know what can happen and what cannot happen. There's also been some demonstrators who've been here for years now. So listen to us when we say, if there's an agitator, go get a cop. They'll help. You know, we're supporting them. They appreciate that. Yeah. They'll help out. And even if nobody's being violent, he'll be like, yo, bro, you're kind of creating a problem. Can we just come step over here? And then if the Antifa guy just wants to throw a fit and stuff, guess what? Usually he gets physical. The Antifa guy will get physical, and the cop will deal with it at that point in time. There's a lot of different things that we can do besides being the bad guy. And so that's why I'm here right now asking patriots, because I know there's a lot of locals that are watching this right now from all three streams, and there's a lot of people who are from all over the place. And guess what? This isn't just a Portland issue or a Seattle issue. This is a national issue, and it's been happening all over the place, and we've been seeing it all over the place. And there needs to be more good guys standing up for good acts. What's that quote? evil flourishes when good men do nothing.
Mhm.
And that's why I stepped out of my journalist role and got between that rabid lady and that innocent skater dude that just wanted to get a question. Now again, he could be Antifa. Who cares? There's 30 of us, one of him, and he wasn't doing anything wrong. And so, I mean, help me out, guys, because I want to be a journalist. I love being a journalist. We are the biggest news media company in the state of Oregon. 100%. We
Yep.
are bigger than any news company in the state of Oregon, and we're right up there, really competitive with Washington. But Seattle's got some people. But so I love doing this. I love the crew that I have doing this. But like having to have this conversation, feeling like we have to have this conversation, just trying to get some people to listen to it, it makes it hard. It really makes it difficult. And I really wish and hope and believe that we can be better. And we just need more support and the Patriot conservative side to be better.
And speaking of you stepping out of your role of journalism, I've been struggling with that myself, like, because we do have some of our own, like, biases. So knowing when to say something, when not to say something, or being happy or excited about something, because we do come from a conservative side, but if we're being journalists, even stepping outside of that and being in agreement at times, or, oh yes, they're fine, something's finally happening, or whatever it may be. And I've done that myself, and I'm struggling with that. And I mean, like you said, you did it yesterday in a way. And
Well, I mean, when it comes to commentary, I don't care. Like I talk to my people all the time. We conversate. People ask questions. Like, we are conservatives. We are right wingers. We can have our opinion. We just, like, when it comes to our integrity and being a journalist, our job is to report the truth. We don't twist it. We don't lie. We don't propagandize any of it. We sit there and we go, this is what happened. And when I got attacked yesterday by people commenting, calling me CNN, because I was like, yeah, no, the Patriots were in the wrong. The Patriots charged them for no reason. They didn't do anything to deserve it. I got called CNN, and I'm sitting here going, how are you calling me CNN? If I was lying to you and telling you that Antifa threw bottles and bottles of urine and pepper sprayed and all that stuff first, and then the Patriots attacked, guess what? That's what makes me CNN. But no, the truth matters. The fact of the matter is, and we can have our commentary. We can talk to the people who watch. We can give our personal opinions. But the main thing is that we have to do is show the truth. We can have our opinions, but the truth is what matters. Integrity is what matters. Like our ethics as conservatives. It doesn't have much to do with being a journalist even. It's just as a conservative, our ethics require us to tell the truth, to show the truth. And that's why it's nice when we don't have to like step out of the journalist thing and be like, whoa, stop. Hold on.
Word. So
I think we've spoken our piece.
yeah, we can't see the comments, so forgive us for that. Our cameras are like 8 feet away from us, so can't see questions or comments. So can't really answer no questions at this point.
If you remember, if you guys remember what you say, unfortunately, Villain and I are we're streaming on YouTube. So as soon as we hit not live anymore, the comments are gone. They disappear. Quincy, you're on Facebook, right?
Yep.
So Quincy's comments, he'll be able to get with you guys later. But
Yes.
all of you guys watching on our streams, I know Villain's some like nerd guy who like streams on multiple stuff. So, but me, I'm not. So for all the people on YouTube that are commenting and stuff, just remember what you said. Put it in the comments as soon as we end this thing, and we will get back to you.
You're having a tech issue because I can look at all my live chat afterwards.
Well, then you're gonna help me fix that.
All right.
New guy.
Yeah,
And you have questions up there waiting.
I'm too
I
old
see
for
that
this.
up there.
that's a super chat.
Yeah.
So I wanna say one more thing just to reiterate. Granted, we don't really know what's going to happen in the future. It would be great if everybody that's predicting things was completely wrong and this all boils over and we just go for a long period of peace for decades and decades after this. But a lot of people are thinking that for a lot of reasons things can get pretty hairy here pretty soon. We could have a political coup, we could have a civil war, we're on the verge of a possible world war, COVID, economic collapses, there's a lot of things. And so things are going to be hairy. And we already see that there's a large group of people willing to do bad things to get their way on the left.
Yeah.
If people on the right, people in general, if people that want goodness to prevail don't act in good ways and use self-control and restraint, what are we gonna be left with? If those that want peace and want goodness to happen in the world don't act in good ways, what's gonna be left of the world? What world are our children gonna grow up in? What world are our elderly people gonna live their last days in? If you want goodness to prevail, restrain yourself, self-control,
Be good.
treat others good. Don't rejoice in the pain of others. Just, I don't even know how to say that any clearer. Be better. To be, what is that, Oprah?
Oh, that
Oprah.
was-
Be
that was
better.
me, man.
Be better. Be better. Be better. It's serious.
Take care of yourself.
I don't know none of her quotes. I don't know none of Oprah's quotes.
Be
Sorry.
better. Be better.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching.
Yep.
Really appreciate it. Hopefully we got through to somebody, even if we got through to one person. Again, the wonderful thing about being a conservative, at least as we say, there's some people that don't agree, but wonderful thing about being conservative, we don't have to agree on everything. We don't even have to agree on anything, except for we love this country, we love the values that this country gives us, the freedoms that this country gives
America.
us, and so it's fine. You don't agree with us, that's fine.
All right.
America.
That's right.
I'm not upset if you don't agree with me.
No, words aren't violence.
They aren't. You're stupid.
If you guys
Yeah,
don't
whatever.
believe in everything I believe, I hate you.
I don't care.
You're stupid.
CSC Media, the Black Conservative Preacher, Villain Report. Thanks for tuning in. Good night.
Good night.